2003. In 2003, Eric and I were living in Fort Lauderdale, and he was climbing the corporate ladder, and he was doing great. He worked for a company that gave us fabulous cash bonuses, wonderful trips, and I was a stay-at-home mom, and I loved what I did. We had 3 boys at the time. And he came home one day and he said, "Honey, I can climb the corporate ladder and I can keep going, but we're going to have to move to Tennessee." And I was like, "Ooh, Fort Lauderdale, Tennessee. Don't know about that. I'm a beach girl." But he said, "I promise we're only going to be there a couple of years. I'm going to climb the ladder a little bit more and we're going to get to move back." So I said, "Sure, why not?" We were so sure that we were only going to be in Tennessee for a couple of years that we didn't sell our house in Fort Lauderdale. So 2.5 years into our 2-year stint in Nashville, I was pregnant with our 4th child, and there was some buzz in the company that there was going to be a shift. And I thought, oh, this is it. I'm going to have the baby, and we're going to get to move back home. Well, the buzz was when Eric walked into the door around noon, and he said, "Well, I no longer have a job." The whole company shut down. 3,500 people no longer had a job. So he landed on his feet, and we were at that point not going to move back to Florida because he was in the mortgage industry. And in 2006, mortgages and the word Florida, they didn't go together. So we stayed in Tennessee because that was his profession. So he began as a vice president of mortgage lending for a large land developer. And I could tell he just wasn't happy. It was just not his passion anymore. And I said, "Honey, there's something else out there for us." And he said, "Great, go find it because I'm doing this. You need to go find out what that is." So in December of 2008, I was invited to a friend's house. Somebody that I really respected her opinion and the fact that she didn't need to be working and she didn't need to be making extra money. She was married to a Tennessee Titans football player. And so I thought, ooh, okay, this Sunday afternoon, it's raining out. I'll go to her house and I'll see what these products are from the Creators of Proactive for sun damage. And I also wanted to go see her house. I thought, ooh, I bet it's pretty. so I'm walking out the door, and as I'm walking out the door, he says, "Don't buy anything." And I was like, oh. He knew me all too well because I'm the girl that you want at your Pampered Chef and Tupperware party because I will come and I will buy. So the truth is, though, it was December of right before Christmas. We now had 5 children, and the mortgage industry was not what it used to be. I did not need to be spending money to start a new business. So when I got there, what I found, though, was that something more that we were looking for. But trying to convince him that that was our something more was not going to be easy. So I didn't buy anything. Like I said, I wouldn't. So I go home, and I start thinking about it. And I told him a little bit about it, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, I get excited about tons of stuff." So I called my dad, and I said, "Dad, this is going to be huge." And he goes, "Tell me about it." So I told him about it, and I said, "This can be it. This can be our way back to Florida. This can be our way out of the mortgage industry." And he said, "Well, how much do you need?" I said, "I'm not going to tell you how much I need. Just whatever you can give me, then I'll make it work." And I'm thinking in my head, how can I pull from here? How can I pull from there? I don't know if he's heard that yet. I'm thinking, I can make it work. I can make it work. Because at the time, we only had 2 kits. We had a $3.95 kit and a $6.95 kit. And I didn't want anything to do with that $3.95 kit. Because if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it big, and I'm going to start with a bang. So the next day, my dad deposited $750 into my account. And in the state of Tennessee, it cost $751. So I was like, whoa, this is big. this is meant to be. So about 2 weeks into it, Eric looked at me and he said, "Are you selling this stuff?" And I said, yeah. And he said, "Where'd you get the money?" And I said, "I got a financial backer." And he said, "Your dad?" I said, "Yeah, my dad." So at that point, I just really started running with it. And I don't honestly know why I saw that this was going to be our next big thing, and why I thought this stay-at-home mom with 5 children who was homeschooling with a newborn and a toddler could pull this out and do something when we'd been married at the time for 14 years and I had never brought a dime into our home because we had decided that I was going to stay home. That's what I wanted to do. That's what he wanted. And so I don't know why. I don't really know why I thought I could do this. So 4 months into it, he came home one night for dinner, and I'm cooking dinner, and sitting on the kitchen table is a commission check and a bonus check. And together they equaled around $4,600. And he looked at him and he went, "What is this?" And I said, "Oh, that's what I made." And he goes, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "I'm going to work every day." He goes, "You're at home, you're homeschooling, you're going back and forth to baseball." And my kids are like, "She's always on the phone." Which I was. But for the most part, our life had not changed. I was just always on the phone. And I said, "Well, that's what I made this month." And he goes, "Okay, I'm doing something wrong." he's like, this is just crazy. He's like, I'm going into a job that I don't thoroughly enjoy at all, and you're at home with the kids making this amount of money. So the wheels started turning in his head, and I'll let him tell you about that in a minute. But 7 months into it, he walked into his office, and he quit his job, and he joined me in business. At that point, I can say he was still making 6 figures, and I had not replaced it yet. But a year into it, I had replaced his 6-figure income, and I surpassed it. And we're still at home with our kids together, and I got a brand new car. His company didn't give him a car that he used to work for. And I also have risen to the top of the pay plan. I've won a couple of trips, one to Cabo with the doctors along with 3 other consultants and their spouses. And it is a lot, and I've won the large cash bonuses too. So it's been an amazing, amazing journey. And coming from where I was to where I am now, I never, ever thought that, like I said, the stay-at-home mom who was very happy in her pajamas, homeschooling the kids, would be up here on a stage with a red carpet talking to all these people at this juncture in my life. I just thank you guys so much. I'm going to let Eric tell you a little bit about his story and what his thought process was on it.
She did a great job summarizing our lives, a couple years of our lives. But I guess the one thing I want to leave you with is just encouragement, because, you know, I think back, we've been doing this 2 years, and she hates when I drive. I always, when we're together, usually she screams at me, so I usually turn the wheel over to her because she's complaining. And there's this one road, it was the River Road, that we used to get to our boys to the baseball field. And I remember I had all kinds of loan files scattered on my lap and my BlackBerry trying to get approvals and doing all kinds of stuff. And she's like, hey girl, can you come to the Monday night meeting? And, you know, that's how she built her business. Is, you know what, she didn't use the homeschooling the kids as an excuse or running the kids around town. She made it work in her situation. So I just want to offer encouragement to you. If, you know, you're saying, how can I spend an extra few hours a week working this? Well, there's something that you can give up or do to be able to make Rodan Fields work for you. I tell you, it's an incredible company. It's something that's changed our lives in 2 years. I mean, 2 years is gone by in the blink of an eye. And I'm so proud of you, Christy, for what you've accomplished. I want to thank you all for coming tonight. I look forward to hopefully meeting a lot of you.
Okay, well, we're not done yet. Okay.